Welcome to A-Level and AP Physics. In today's lesson, we will discuss past paper questions from March 2023, paper 2 for CIE IGCSE Physics. In this lesson, as always we will discuss these questions in detail so you can improve your conceptual understanding of IGCSE Physics and also you can have better understanding of these questions. Let's study together, let's improve together. In today's lesson, we will discuss March 2023 paper 2 variant 2. Total time for this exam is 45 minutes and there are 40 questions on this paper. You need to answer all of them. And the total mark for this paper is 40. It simply means that you have 1 minute for each question because there are 40 questions and the total time is 45 minutes. So time is limited. So you have to be fast enough to answer all the questions in your exam. So how you can improve your speed? Very important question. In order to improve your speed, the simplest way is before exam when you do these past papers, always set time and try to answer all the questions on the paper in 40 minutes. In this way, you can improve your speed and you will be able to answer all the questions in the exam. Let's say if you have understanding, means you understand how to answer all the questions on the paper, but your speed is very slow. You will not be able to get full marks because this is time limited exam. So time management is very important. So always set time when you do these past papers before your exam. So you have to improve your speed as well, and also you need to improve your conceptual understanding of these topics. So exam techniques and conceptual understanding are very important if you want to get full marks in the paper. Question 1 says which list contains 2 scalar quantities and 2 vector quantities. If you look at option A, distance is a scalar, so we can use S. Speed is a scalar, time is a scalar, and V is a vector. Velocity is a vector, so it means this is not correct option. Force is a vector, velocity is a vector, distance is scalar, mass is scalar. So we have 2 vectors and we have 2 scalars, so this is correct option. But if you look at next one, so this is scalar, this is scalar, this is scalar, this is vector, so this is also incorrect option. Weight is vector, acceleration is vector, momentum is a vector, speed is scalar, so this is also not correct option. So the answer for this question is B. Question number 2 says the diagram shows the speed time graph for a car. Which row describes the motion of the car at point X and at point Y? So the first thing we need to understand, we have speed time graph. And the gradient of speed time graph, this is equal to acceleration. Gradient of VT graph, this is equal to acceleration. So this is equal to acceleration. Now if you look at point X, means in this region we can say this is region 1 and this one is region 2. I mean car has 2 kinds of motion. So here we can see the speed is increasing, so you can simply say moving with changing speed, or we can say it has constant acceleration. So we can say it has constant acceleration. So simply we can write down constant acceleration because the gradient is positive and gradient is constant, and here gradient is 0, so it means that acceleration is equal to 0. Or simply you can see in this case speed is increasing, so we can say the car is moving with changing speed and here speed is constant. So if you look at given options, first one is telling you at rest, so this one is incorrect. So A is not possible answer. Moving with constant speed, this one is correct. Moving with constant speed, incorrect. At rest, incorrect. Moving with changing speed, this is correct. At rest, this is incorrect because it has constant speed. If you look at option D, so it means B is not answer, C is also not answer. Moving with changing speed, this is correct. Moving with constant speed, this is also correct. So the answer for this question is D. Question number 3 says 4 objects are moving in a straight line. The table shows the distances moved by each object in each second of its motion. Which object is moving with constant non-zero acceleration? So we have distance moved per second. So it means these are the speeds. So simply we can also label these are the speeds. So you can write down these are speeds. Distance moved in 1 second means the speed. So this is also representing speed. Now if you look at first one, speed is 5, then speed is 5. It means acceleration will be equal to 0. But if you look at next one, 5 to 6, so we can calculate acceleration here. So this will be 6 means v minus u divided by time, that is equal to 1 second. So the acceleration in this case is 1 meter per second per second. Now if you look at these two, means in this interval of time, again we can find a, that is equal to 7.6. 7 minus 6 divided by 1, so this is also equal to 1 meter per second per second. And the same for the last interval. We have 8, v is 8 and u is 7 divided by 1, and this is value of acceleration. So this is also equal to 1 meter per second per second. So the answer for this question can be B. A is not answer. But if you look at next one, in this case we can see we have speed 7, so we can find out acceleration. This will be equal to 7 minus 5 divided by 1, so this is equal to 2 meters per second per second. If you look at this one, in this interval, this is 10 minus 7 divided by 1. So in this case acceleration is equal to 3 meters per second per second. And here we can also calculate value of a. You can see this is 14 minus 10 divided by 1 means this is equal to 4 meters per second per second. So this acceleration is not constant. This acceleration is increasing with time, so it means this is not possible answer. Now if we go to the last one, you can also see in this case acceleration is not constant, because acceleration here is equal to 8 minus 5 divided by 1, so this is equal to 3 meters per second per second. And same is true in the second interval. We have 14 minus 8 divided by 1, and so this acceleration is equal to 6 meters per second per second. And in the last interval we can also see this is equal to 26 minus 14, and this is divided by 1, so this is value of acceleration. So in this case acceleration is equal to 12 meters per second per second. So this is also increasing acceleration with time, so this is also not possible, because we need to find out constant but non-zero acceleration. Mean acceleration has to be constant in all these intervals of time. So the answer for this question is B. Very nice question to understand the difference between acceleration and also speed. Question number 4 says the drag force on a car increases with speed. At 20 meters per second, the total drag force is 400 newtons. The mass of the car is 1200 kgs and the driving force is constant, and driving force is equal to 700 newtons. Question is asking us to find out which statement about the acceleration of the car at 20 meters per second is correct. So first of all, we need to calculate acceleration of the car. Acceleration of the car will be equal to the net force divided by mass of the car. Net force in this case we have when the car is moving at 20 meters per second. So the speed of the car is given. This is equal to 20 meters per second. The drag force on the car is given to us, that is equal to 400 newtons. So this one is the drag force, we can say Ft. And the driving force on the car is given, we can simply say this one is F, driving force. And so F net simply is equal to the driving force minus the drag force, we can say Ft, divided by M. Driving force in this case is equal to 700 newtons, so we can also write on 700 newtons. So this is 700 minus, we have drag force 400 newtons divided by mass of the car. So if we simplify this one, we will get this is 300 divided by 1200. So these two zeros we can cancel, so we left with 1 by 4. So it simply means that acceleration of the car, this is equal to 0.25 meters per second when speed of the car is 20 meters per second. But in the question it is given to us that drag force increases with speed. So if the speed of the car increase now because car is accelerating, so the drag force will increase. So we can write on A, this is equal to F minus Fd divided by M. So if drag force increase, if this one increase, so it means overall this will decrease. So the net force will decrease. So simply we can say overall net force will decrease because this one is constant. So it simply means that A will decrease because mass of the car is constant and driving force is also constant. So it means acceleration will decrease. As time will pass, acceleration will decrease. So these 2 points we need to understand. One is this one. Acceleration is 20 meters per second is equal to this one, and then acceleration will decrease with time. So if you look at option A, it is given to us the acceleration is 0.25 meters per second, but it will decrease as time passes. So it means the answer for this question is A, and rest of the options are not possible because this is telling you increase. So this is incorrect. This acceleration is incorrect. This acceleration is also incorrect. So the answer is A. Question number 5 says a rectangular swimming pool is 50 meters long and 25 meters wide, and depth of water is 2 meters. The density of water is 1000 kgs per cubic meter. We need to find out what is the mass of the water in the pool. So simply mass, you need to understand mass is equal to density times volume. So simply we can write down density times volume. Volume will be equal to L times W times depth. So this is depth. Now simply you need to multiply these quantities. We have density of water that is equal to 1000 kgs per cubic meter. L is given in SI units, that is equal to 50, and width is given, that is equal to 25 meters. So you have to be careful about units. So if these are SI base units, so simply you can multiply. So in this case, if we multiply them, our final answer will be equal to 2500 thousands kgs. So this is the mass of water in the swimming pool. So the answer for this question has to be D. So D is the right answer. Question number 6 says an object is rising vertically at constant speed through water. There are 3 vertical forces acting on the object. One force is weight, the second force is drag force, and the third force is upward force. Which diagram shows the magnitude and direction of the vertical forces acting on the object? So the first thing we need to understand, in this case object is rising vertically upwards at constant speed. So we can imagine object is rising vertically upwards. So the object is moving up. So the speed of the object is up. If the speed of the object is up, it means that the drag force, it has to be downwards. So this is drag force, it has to be downwards, and force of gravity always acts downwards. So we can say this one is the force of gravity, and upward force always acts upwards. So upward force always act upwards. So if we have this basic understanding, based on this one we can answer this question. For this question, option A is telling us drag force is upward, so this is wrong. Drag force is upward, so this is also incorrect. But for this one we need to understand, it is given to us that upward force is 2 newtons and downward force is 4 newtons. So this is not possible. It means this object is accelerating downwards, but in the question it is given to us object is moving at a constant speed. So this is also incorrect. So the answer for this question is D, because we have upward force, this is 3 newtons, and downward force also is equal to 3 newtons, because 1 newton plus 2 newton, 3 newton. So it means that F net is equal to 0 and acceleration is also equal to 0. So this object is moving at constant speed and is rising vertically upwards. So the answer for this question is D. For question number 7, it is given to us the weight of this person is equal to 1000 newtons. So simply we can label here 1000 newtons. And the distance of this person from the pivot is given. So simply we can mark this distance. This is equal to 40 centimeters. So this distance is given. And the distance of this first boy from the pivot is also given. That is equal to 20 centimeters. And the distance of the second boy from the pivot is also given to us. And this distance is equal to 80 centimeters. So we can label this one 80 centimeters. So this is just basic question about moment. As this is in equilibrium, so it means that clockwise moment. So we can also label moment. Let's say the weight of this boy is W. They have the same weight. These boys, they have the same weight. So the weight of this one also will be W, because it is given to us two boys of equal weight. Moment due to this boy will be clockwise. Moment due to this one also will be clockwise about this pivot, and moment due to this person will be counterclockwise. So simply in this case, clockwise, counterclockwise moment has to be equal to clockwise moment. Counterclockwise moment we have, this is 1000 multiplied by perpendicular distance from the pivot, that is equal to 40. And moment due to this boy is equal to 20 times W. We no need to convert centimeters into meters, because centimeter is on both sides. It will be cancelled. And moment due to this boy is 80 centimeters. Now if we simplify, here we will get this is 40 thousandths, and here we will get this is 100 times the weight of one boy. Now simply we can cancel these two zeros with these two zeros. So the weight of each boy, this will be equal to 400 newtons. So the answer for this question is B. Question number 8 says a student measures the length of a spring. She then attaches different weights to the spring. She measures the length of the spring for each weight. The table shows her results. When weight is equal to 0, the length of the spring is equal to 520 newtons. We need to find out what is the extension of the spring when the weight of 3 newtons is attached to the spring. So first of all, simply we can draw a spring when there is no weight attached with the spring. And this length of the spring is given, that is equal to 520 millimeters. We need to find out when a weight of 3 newtons is attached with the spring. So this is when weight of 3 newtons is attached. So we can simply draw arrow here when the weight is equal to 3.0 newtons. And this length of the spring is given to us, that is equal to 533 millimeters. So this is 533 millimeters. We can simply say this one is L0, and this one we can say this is L3. So we need to find out extension of the spring. So delta L simply will be equal to L3 minus L0. So this is equal to 533 minus 520. So the answer for this question will be equal to 13 millimeters. So the answer is D. So this is how you can figure out. The best way to answer this kind of problem is sketch. So you can see the clear picture what is happening, and then you can figure out the answer. Question number 9 says the momentum of a body is changed by a force acting on the object for a period of time. Which action increases the change in momentum? So first thing we need to understand, change in momentum, this is equal to force times time. Question is asking us which action increases. Doubling the force, halving the time, this will not change, because if we double this one, half this one, there will be no change in momentum. Second one, doubling the force for the same time. So in this case, if we double the force and we keep this one constant, so it means delta P will increase. So this can be a possible answer. Halving both the force and the time, this will decrease the change in momentum. Halving the force and doubling the time, in this case momentum will not change, because we double one and other one become half, so the change will be, there will be no change. So the answer for this question is B. Question number 10 says the equation used to find the change in gravitational potential energy of an object can be written as, where delta EP is the change in gravitational potential energy and delta H is the change in height. which row gives the quantities y and z. So the best way to answer this question is, first of all, we can write down delta EP. Delta EP is equal to mg times delta h. It is already given to us that delta h is representing change in height. So we need to identify m and g. M is representing mass of the object in the gravitational field, and g is the gravitational field itself. So this is gravitational field. So we can write on g is representing gravitational field. Gravitational field. Now if you have understanding of this one, now simply we can find out y and z quantities. Y is given to us is mass, so this is possible. Z is gravitational field, so this is also possible. So the answer can be, in this case, A. This can be a possible answer. Order is not important. Mg order is not important. I can also write down this one, Gm times delta H. So order is not important. So this can be y, but this cannot be z. This cannot be y, this cannot be z. And also true for D. This cannot be y, this cannot. This can be, yeah, this one is possible. This can be m. So this is possible. So this can be m. So this is incorrect. This is also incorrect. This is also incorrect. So the answer for this question is A.